Streaming giant Netflix just had a crazy technical on their stock chart, and it's time to break down where the stock may go in the future, what I'm doing for my trading, and how the stock is likely to respond at some key technical levels. Let's jump into it here with the stock chart showing you up to last week, Tuesday, and we're going to go up in time and show you the signal as it actually happened in real time. We're going to do a little replay for you, pause it down here when we need to. So we have this boom. Next day, we have this reversal signal. And this is very, very important when you see this kind of signal on the stock chart what it means. Let's zoom in on this because it is very important. If you're looking at candlesticks, like right here, this one right here is so critical. What does this mean? It means that the stock price was pushed up during the day, right? The buyers came in, pushed it up, little arrow going up there. And that's what the top wick represents on this candlestick. Then the sellers came back in and said, whoa, 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 no, no, no. We're pushing this back down lower. But you can also see here that we have these stochastics down here representing momentum shifting between the buyers and sellers. And it's almost going to cross over. When the blue line crosses over the red at this bottom range, it means there's a changing potentially in momentum. And it's going to flip from selling, as you can see here, this downward kind of selling area into potentially a buying area, which is what we want to see. So we take that and we're going to take this line off and then bang, next day. This line is saying there's some buyers in the market right now. What's going to happen the next day? Next day, same kind of thing, almost like a doji candle appears here. When you see a doji candle, which is kind of like a candle with a long wick and some indecision in here with a kind of buying and selling in the middle, but no one's really taking control of the market. Usually what follows this is going to set the tone for the market the next day and the next coming day. So we're going to take these lines off again, and then we're going to look at the stochastics down at the bottom one more time and saying like we're getting close to this crossover happening as well. So the next day, is there a signal here? We also have the 8-day moving average right here kind of ripping down below. And what I'm looking for is a crossover above this 8-day, this purple line right here, this pink line. When it crosses above this line right here, it's going to go like this. If you can cross above that line right there, that is a strong buy signal. Also with this crossing back the blue over the red at the bottom, that would be a strong buy signal as well. Let's see what happens on the next day, which is last Friday. Boom. Okay, so we kind of get up there. Again, we have this kind of reversal of this candle right here. So we're still not really sure about what's going on. We did have the crossover here in the stochastic. So I'm not sure, and I wasn't sure right here when I was watching this, if I want to take a position yet, because we didn't have a closing candle above that 8-day EMA. And as you can see in the past, when you have those kind of candles closing above, like over here, right? We have this big candle. I'm going to put it up over here, closing above it. Confirms the bullish trend. We had a kind of breakout right here down here as well on the stochastics. The trend's moving upwards, okay? What we want to see is that same kind of thing over here now in this area. And let's go one more day on the chart and see what happens next day. Boom, we have our breakout right here. So when I saw this candle and this close, it is a strong bullish movement upwards. We have a strong breakout signal down here on the stochastics moving upwards across the kind of that 40-50 range. And now this is confirming like, hey, something's going on here. We have some technical kind of levels being broken. And again, anytime I see that 8-day moving average kind of breaking out like that, it's a good signal to me when combined with this and this early kind of indicator that there's market that wants to buy. This to me is signaling that, hey, it's time to move. It's time to get a position in here. And if you don't capture it right here, you don't get in right here. Like if you're going to get in here, right around this area down here, if you're super confident in your trading, you have a stop loss. If you're buying shares outright or buying calls, let's say, you might want to get in here and start buying calls. Let's put that in here right there at this level. Buying, that's your buying call level. If you're going to go super bullish or buying stock or buying shares, right? So if you're going to be able to catch the bottom, which is really hard to do, maybe it's down here at this level at 317 when the move kind of first started to be made. Now that we've had this kind of upward move over the past kind of 4 days in that trading view, we're going to see this movement up here. We're going to look at it and say, okay, we've already had, man, that's like a 5%, 5.5% rally already in a few days. That's a pretty good rally, a pretty good move for this stock. What's next? If you want to kind of get in here, and what I decided to do was say, hey, I'm pretty confident this is going to keep on going up higher, but I also want to protect my downside. So instead of just kind of buying shares and buying a call option, I did something what's called a bull put spread. And what that involves is it's called a bull put spread. I did that right around this area right here. It was right where the kind of stock price closed right there. And the idea was that I'm going to protect my downside with this bull put spread. It involves selling a put option and buying a put option. So I make money if the stock price stays the same or goes up. And if the stock price comes down, I'm going to lose a little bit, but not as much as if I was buying calls or buying shares outright. My downside is protected when you do a bull put spread. So I got in right around that 331.20 line, and my projection for this is likely to go next. We've got some very good kind of resistance right up here where this candlestick's touched it, this one, and this one as well, this doji. So I'm thinking it's going to run right about this 338.20 over the next maybe couple of weeks or week anyway. So I'm looking for a target right there. And if it does move up to that point and it keeps on moving upwards, it's a potential for me to kind of add to my bull put spread position and maybe kind of pick up little areas around the way, maybe up here at this level. If it keeps continuing right around this 335 level, might get back in with another bull put spread, and then eventually looking to cash out at the top here. This would be kind of the cash out, take profit area. If I can edit this, I'll just like cash out. Take profit, right? Put that on the chart. That's where we're going to look to play it up here. If it does kind of move down again, you're protected because in these bull put spreads, instead of paying all this capital, like when you're buying shares or buying a call outright, your downside is protected. So I'm only putting up maybe 10% of the capital and locking in potentially 10% of the return, but it's easier to do that and easier to stomach when you see these moves going upwards versus going all in with the buying calls, buying shares. It's about risk management. And let's see what happened the next following day. So we do have some more data to show on this chart to see where the stock went next. Next day, boom, we have this candlestick again. And this is up to live time this morning. The open is just below this candlestick, but we had this run up again to this point at 335, which was right around my kind of area of potentially getting back in again. But since I saw this kind of decline throughout the day, I decided to hold off and just wait on my initial bull put spread. So I'm kind of sitting here right now with an options contract that is harnessing the power of time decay. It's also harnessing just the power of the stock either staying the same or moving higher. Again, if it does move lower, my downside is protected versus buying calls and shares. I think Netflix has room to run, but it's an easy way to kind of see a signal right here again, a crossover of the 8-day EMA. If you want to get in on that signal, perfect. If you want to go long, consider doing this when you see the kind of trend building. If you can see this crossover down here as well, it's a good indicator that this is likely tied to this, and we're likely to move up and move higher. And we actually have here, as you can see, so I'm in for a bull put, but I think this stock is room to run a little bit more. And I'm going to target again that 338 zone for my cash and take profit area. That's Netflix currently day to day in the stock market. Hope you guys got some value to this one. 8-day EMA, stochastics. If you want to learn more, make sure you check out this channel. Keep following along, subscribe if you can, and I will catch you guys on the next one.